All right, so this is Jason Roggasch, and I'm recording Sunday. It's Easter Sunday. Happy Easter, everybody. This is Pismo Beach. We're gonna go for a little bike ride on Pismo Beach. On my GT Aggressor. Make sure this thing's. Got a little. It's a public walkway. I don't know if you're allowed to have bikes on here. It doesn't say though, but we're going to try it. We'll do some walking first because I don't know where we can ride and I don't want to kill anybody. But it's a beautiful day out again. It's Easter Sunday. Happy Easter to everybody. Some thoughts about Easter. No, I'm kidding. No thoughts about Easter. So as we're walking down the beach, what we're going to notice is all the families and stuff. Pismo Beach. Little history about Pismo Beach. I don't know any history about Pismo Beach. It's kind of near San Luis Obispo, where we went earlier. Seems like a very beautiful place. I kind of want to record the ocean, so I may walk on the beach a little bit, but I'm not sure. Let's see, let's keep walking this bad boy. Okay, so here we go. Stop right here. Beach visitors, caution, rip currents. Damn right. I don't know what that means. So stay calm, fight the current. Don't fight the current, just let it take you out to sea. That's a joke, not a very funny one. So clamming is illegal. Clamming is illegal. But again, I don't know. All right, let's go riding. We are in 6th gear, no big deal. 21 speed aggressor, just got this. Just bought this bike, not a bad bike. I normally would have bought a bike maybe a little bit less corporate, maybe, I don't know. But I bought this bike because I kind of like it, and I can't ride on the sand. That's not going to work. So I may have to walk a little bit more than I thought because I have not experienced any of this. Let's do this. Let's go for a little jaunty jaunt, and then we'll go from there. This is again Pismo Beach. I should have mounted it on my head, my handlebars. But you know what? That's not an issue because we're going to slow down, and we're going to, because it's mounted on my chest. By the way, if anyone has any questions about the GoPro, feel free to ask or ax wherever you're from in the country. Whatever your regional dialect may be. So let's do this. Let's go through the city first. Let's go through the town a little bit. It's just a tourist town. I mean, let's be honest, this place isn't, we're not in France. I'm gonna put my sunglasses on. I don't wear my sunglasses at night, so I can see you in my dreams. A little Corey Hart reference, thank you. Car behind me, hope they don't kill me. Let's hit it. Okay, so again, very beautiful place, much like all of California. Also overpriced, and frankly, some place that you couldn't afford to live unless you had a really good job or you shared a place with like 12 people. Which, if there are 11 people out there who want to get a place on Pismo Beach, I'm in. Yeah. Kidding, of course. I wouldn't live in California if you paid me. I'm going to take the road less traveled. Yeah, keep up. You can. JFK, this is for you, buddy. I saw you on your motorcycle. I bike. I'm a biker. I'm not a biker like in the sense that you're a biker, but I'm a biker in the sense that I bicycle. I'm gonna fly by these muffs. Oh, Holiday RV Park. I kind of wish I had an RV, a recreational vehicle. Uh-oh. And again, we're gonna return to the beach a little bit later, but right now we're just gonna go through the city. We're gonna check everything out. You can kind of see it's Easter Sunday, so a lot of people are out. Very beautiful. Sorry if the wind is interfering again. I can't do anything about the wind. It's like a Cat Stevens song. I got nothing to do with it. This is not going to be a political video by any stretch of the imagination. I may mention politics, but I'm not probably going to. I kind of just wanted to get a scenery video done of Pismo because I keep hearing it's one of the top 5 beaches in California. This is right off the beach. The beach is that way. Right now, I think we're on the I South. What I love about California is it's so bike friendly. There are bike lanes everywhere, which is fucking great. I mean, I've ridden all over San Luis Obispo, and pretty much even in Los Angeles when I was in Van Nuys. I've been in Van Nuys, I've been in San Fernando Valley, I've been in Long Beach, I've been in Monterey. I've been to Malibu. I've been on a bunch of places. And everywhere you go, you can ride your bike. Very bike friendly. In fact, we're coming up on, see these people in front of me, they have one of those it's like a rickshaw, but you ride it yourself. So that's cool. I'm trying to stay upright. Like, I'm not trying to use my handlebars. So you can kind of get an idea and a feel for it. Not going real fast. Not really doing a workout. This is more just kind of a leisurely video. You can't go this slow in a car, so you don't pick up as much. I'm gonna do some GoPro stuff in the car. Let's go check this park out. Let us go check this park out. Let's see what's up. No camping, of course. That's the sucky part about Cali. You can't really camp. I'm gonna pass these people, excuse me. So we're gonna head out here. Let's see, which way? Let's go this way. See what we can find towards this directione. Campgrounds kind of thing. I don't even know if these are these aren't really campgrounds, I guess. No, I guess they are campgrounds, but they're not open today. Looks like it's closed because it is Easter Sunday. So, I don't know, this could be like the Salton Sea. There's a place at the Salton Sea called Pismo Beach, which is where they built a bunch of houses and they just left them. And it's like a ghost town. We didn't get a chance to get over that far because it was making us physically ill. Being from Alaska, we're not used to a lot of the toxins here. Like, even driving in traffic, driving on the freeways, man, I'm coughing up stuff that I haven't coughed up since ever, really. And it stopped almost entirely since we got to San Luis Obispo. So it's been awesome. That's been good. So Northern California is much cleaner than Southern. Northern California is not much different than Southern California, just less people. More beautiful, obviously, the more scenery. It's kind of chilly today. Chilly in the sense that I'm from Alaska. So this isn't chilly, this is actually quite pleasant. But for people here, it's kind of chilly. I'm wearing a hoodie today only because I'm riding my bike. And I like hoodies. I'm a big hoodie fan. People are like, why are you so obsessed with hoodies? And I'm like, I don't know. I just like them. We're riding around this campground. Kind of want to see what, and again, this closed today, I think because of the holiday. There's nobody here. Maybe it's just you're not allowed to be in this campground anymore. Could that be possible? I don't even see anybody really here. And you would figure with all the parking on the other side, look at that shot. I gotta get off my bike here. The mountains around here are stunning. Absolutely stunning. It's just a great place to be. Northern California, if you're looking for views and vistas, if you're looking for really scenery that will change the way you look at the earth. It's a shame, like I said, it's a shame Silicon Valley is out here. If God exists, and I'm not saying he doesn't, or she doesn't, or it doesn't, but if God does exist, Silicon Valley wouldn't. And because Silicon Valley turns places, and this happened a little bit to Texas. People forget about what's called the Silicon Prairie. You know, where all the military industrial stuff, it's kind of before Silicon Valley took off. And the reason Silicon Valley here is, of course, is because of Stanford University in Palo Alto. And you have people like Peter Thiel and the founders of eBay, one of the founders of the eBay mafia. What is it called? Sand Road, which is the place where you go get financed. A lot of VR venture, what do they call venture financiers or vulture capital, whatever they're called. And they finance the different .coms and whatever. And so venture capitalists, and go look up Peter Thiel if you want a really horror story about what a terrible, terrible creature he is. Doesn't think women should vote, kind of a racist, not kind of a racist, full-on racist, supports some of the worst shit that you could possibly support, and is one of the richest men in America, and one of the richest investors in America. Again, I think this place is probably closed. It looks like to me. I mean, there's some people here. I would ask them, but I don't want to bother them because I don't want to be bothered. I like just riding around and filming shit. Just getting eggs and stuff. That's cool. We see the beach over here. The beach again is over in that direction. So I don't know. Oh, here's a park ranger. Let's ask him. We won't even tell him we're recording. In fact, they can't see this fucking camera on my chest, but maybe not. I don't know. I don't know. And we'll get out of here too. Excuse me. Is this closed for forever or just for the weekend?
We're should be opening up next month.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we just had so much flooding.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, there's a lake. This whole thing was a lake. Restrooms were underwater.
Are you kidding me? That's incredible.
Yeah, the little creek over there hadn't pushed through in 6 years.
Oh.
So all that water came over in 45 minutes. This place was full of water.
Unbelievable. Is there some? I would love to see some. I would love to see pictures of it, but it would have been kind of interesting to see. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Okay, so yeah, he just told us flooded. California's seen record highs of water this year. And that's kind of the story all over the place. They're gonna be open in a month. The guy just said that, so you don't have to have me repeat it, but wow, what an interesting story. Okay, so, and that makes total sense, because if there was a beach, if there was, like, because you kind of see it's underneath the ocean, again, it's right over here. We're gonna try to jump one of these dunes, maybe, I don't know. We're gonna see what they add. Maybe do a little mountain biking, because this is a all-terrain bike. That's why I bought it. California is probably the prettiest place I've seen other than Anchorage from June, July, August, September. In Alaska is gorgeous. I don't think it can be beaten. But I'm looking at California, and I know why people want to live here. That's why I wanted to live here. Again, not going to be settling in California. I'll have more news on that later, where I'm going to be settling. We've decided where we're going. It's kind of an interesting thought process where we're heading. I'm going to try to get up this sand, which is not going to happen. So I'm going to jump off the bike. We'll just head up here. But California's stunning. And it's just a beautiful place. And that's why I hate Silicon Valley so much, because it's just people that want to make money. And they're not really interested in the beauty of California, you know, the pristine nature of it. And sometimes I think people don't know what they have. Look at those waves. We'll get closer to the waves. But I think people don't know what they have. And people in California, I'm not saying they take it for granted. As a matter of fact, I don't mean that at all. It's not rocket, sorry. But people in California are so blessed, especially on the coast, to have not, you know, ocean on one side and then these beautiful mountains behind us. We'll do a little panorama view. Beautiful trees, old trees. Just a beautiful place. Very, very lucky to have seen all of that I've seen of California. I've really seen more than California than I thought, because my initial plan was, and I'm just talking here, we're having a conversation, like we're just hanging out. My initial plan here was I was going to come to, my trip started in Las Vegas, Nevada. And I've kind of documented it in blog form. My blog is up. I'll leave a link below to my blog if anyone's interested. I also have another blog that's a travel blog that I've started with my sister. And what I've noticed is, again, this is just, what an area, what a beauty. What a great place. But I originally started in Las Vegas, Nevada. I like Nevada, don't get me wrong. Nevada's cool, but it's not for me. And I wrote a blog about, I made a video about how bad I hate Nevada. Las Vegas. I don't hate Nevada. In fact, I went to Fire Canyon, which is one of the most beautiful places that I've ever seen. And I'm just kind of panning around here while I talk. I'm trying to figure out a good route to the beach, but I'm not even sure I can get to the beach. And I see somebody riding a bike out there, and I know they're riding on where the waves come in and make it solidify it. So I think I'm going to try to head over to that direction. So let's just walk down here and see if we can kind of go back. But my original, I'm doing a summary video today because this is going to be a very long video. Long in the sense of showing scenery that I hope everybody enjoys, and at the same time kind of giving an idea of who I am a little bit more. My videos are taking a little bit of a different direction now. I'm not as going to be much, and I've kind of gone this route for a little while. I'm going to be a little bit less negative, and that's just the way to put it. That's the only way I can say it. My negativity has been a destructive factor more than a positive one. And I don't mean for me personally, I mean for anyone, and me personally as well. I'm not a negative person, and I've kind of living in Alaska, I got into attack mode too much, and I regret that. And so those attacks will no longer be happening on anyone other than large political figures who deserve it. I will not be attacking anybody, you know, anymore. Really is what's going to happen. I think I don't need to. Here we go. This little ugly, not ugly, it's just a marsh. I don't know if I can get across it though. I don't really want to get wet, but let's find out. Let's use the bike as a barometer. Oh, mosquitoes, I missed you. Alaska, home of the mosquitoes, the Alaska state bird. It's a joke, but a lot of people will say the Alaska state bird is, and it looks like somebody set up something here, but you know, I step on it and I go right down. Nope, we're good. Okay, cool, that's awesome. That was a worry, no longer. But Alaska was such a beautiful place, and I started in Las Vegas, and I love the nature part of Nevada. Fire Canyon was gorgeous. It was a fun place to be, but at the end of the day, that's not the majority of, that's not Las Vegas, that's Nevada. So carrying my bike up the hill. My trip to Nevada was too long. I suggest that no one spends more than 3 days in Las Vegas. First day, get there, get settled, get comfy, spend some money. Second day, spend some money. Third day, wind down and leave. I didn't do that. I stayed too long. And really, what went on? How's it going? Anyway, so I stayed too long and I didn't enjoy it as much. So now, what my plan is to see the rest of California and stay proportionately, and I've done that since, that was 2 months ago. What I've had recently, again, is, and again, it's Easter Sunday, 2017. What I've had is kind of a sense of Vegas. I left Vegas and I was a little bit hard on Vegas, and I regret that because the last day I was there, last 2 days I was there, I went and saw Fire Canyon, and it changed my perspective of the whole state. Then my trip took me all the way to New Orleans, and New Orleans was a blast. I don't really drink very much or party, so I don't do drugs any more than, say, the average touring funk band. I'm kidding, of course. That was a Bill Hicks joke. But I don't really, so Vegas, I mean, Nevada was cool because, New Orleans was cool because we were there for Mardi Gras. And Mardi Gras was a blast, and I enjoyed myself immensely. I didn't party with anyone in Mardi Gras. I met some people, sure, but I didn't go to any parties. The last day we were there actually was the end of Mardi Gras, and we were invited to, or I was invited a couple of times in the elevator to the hotel. Literally the last day I was there to go up and hang out with some people. And I was gonna go, but we were leaving so early in the morning that it wouldn't work. Then we flew to, and I loved New Orleans. Then we moved to we went to Panama City, Florida. And I thought Panama City was gonna be not a drag, but I thought, oh boy, Panama City, right? You know, kind of boring, kind of a retirement community, and then it's spring break. No, it was fun. The people were really super nice, and we got there right before spring break kicked in, right? So we weren't overwhelmed by it. And as again, we're here at Pismo Beach. Take a quick pan, see some of the cool houses over there. Again, expensive. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a Marxist, so everything comes into a class structure, and everything comes into a financial kind of a structure too. But essentially, you know, this place is gorgeous. Pismo Beach is beautiful. So, but I essentially became I really loved some cool stuff. Sea oats, I think they're called on the ground here. I really loved Florida, the part I saw. And again, if you look up where Panama Beach is, it's kind of near Tampa. That would be the closest place, I guess, that maybe people would know. It's not really close, but it has closeness to it. And you can start to hear the ocean. Oh wow, beautiful, just beautiful. I want to get on my bike, but I want to record all of this too because I love waves. Water is of course one of the 4 elements, and it just makes you feel so good being around water, you know, and rushing water. I love, in Alaska we don't have waves like this, or at least we don't have waves like this in Anchorage. Homer has some waves. There's a couple of places that you can actually surf off the coast of Anchorage, or excuse me, off the coast of Alaska, but here, you know, every coast is like this, and virtually. And so it reminds me of rushing water. We have a lot of lakes, or we have a lot of rivers and stuff that feed into lakes and stuff. So you get this when you're camping. So you'll be camping somewhere, and I always love to set up shop next to a river, a flowing river that's going over rocks. It's making a lot of noise because it's so calming to me. And that's the same thing. And that's what I get back to Panama Beach. Panama Beach had that elements to it, right? So you're in Panama Beach, and we were staying right on the beach at this place called the Beachcomber Resort, which was just fantastic. And a lot of people here today because it's, again, Easter Sunday 2017. A lot of people there wasn't a lot of people there, and we just got there right the week before spring break, and we were there into the first week, really, of 2 weeks of spring break, or week of spring break. And it was fun. It was a real blast. And you're gonna hear some noise in the background. That's just ocean waves. I'm not gonna go too close to the water, obviously. I might get on my bike and ride a little bit here, but I'm not sure. Guy's got a football. I don't know if that's a football. I might have to show him what's up. No, I'm kidding, but seriously, if that football comes close to me, I will throw it. Okay, anyway, I don't want to, you know, no, I don't want to brag or anything, but I got a cannon for a right arm. But so we're walking on the beach, and again, it reminds me of Panama City. Panama City was a beautiful place to be, and I wrote about it in my blog. And again, I'll leave links below to this. And I didn't make a video about this, but I'm going to. And this is going to be the video for Panama Beach as well. I'll include this in my, you know, this is kind of going to be the video for that. I'm going to stop for a minute and going to put down my bicycle, and I'm going to get out my charger for my GoPro. Not because I'm running out of battery, but just simply because it's always good to have your charger on your GoPro, the external charger, because I bought the second tier GoPro model. So anyway, so I'm gonna stop recording for a minute and I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Just plugged in my battery, and here's my bag. I don't know if you care to see that, but there it is nonetheless with all my chargers. By the way, feel free, everybody, to make a universal fucking adapter for some of this shit. I guess if I invented that, I'd be a fucking millionaire, but I don't got the book learning. It's kind of annoying that nothing is, you know, you can't really, there's no universal adapter for everything, so you end up having to have 37 different chargers for 37 different things, whatever you have. So it can be a little bit fucking annoying, and it takes up a lot of space. So we're walking on the beach. It's a beautiful fucking day. Again, it's Easter 2017. Let me get back to Panama City real quick, and then I'm going to go through the synopsis of my videos, or where I've been on my trip. So we went to Panama City, Florida. Beautiful place, loved it. Had a great time, enjoyed myself immensely, and couldn't believe I enjoyed it so much. I enjoyed running on the beach every day. I enjoyed being on the beach every day. I enjoyed the people. I enjoyed the culture. Slow as a fucking turtle crossing a road with an 80-year-old geriatric wheelchair invalid. I mean, it really was. It was that slow. Again, we're gonna go out to the pan to the beach. Kind of get to the water on this angle right here. Like a tortoise. I mean, that's how slow it was. Yeah, snail crossing the road. That's how Florida is. But what was great about Florida was that it gave me time to think and write and kind of get my shit together intellectually again, and kind of decompress after New Orleans and after Las Vegas. Love Florida, love Panama City. I would recommend Panama City Beach to anybody before spring break, and probably during the summer it's popping, but we went kind of during the spring, and we're Alaskans, so it was all warm anyway. The water was a little bit cold, but very shallow. I walked out, like, I swear, I felt like I walked out 2/3 of a mile. No, about probably half of a half mile. I don't even know if that's a logical thing to say, but we went out to the beach and I felt like I could just keep walking because it was so shallow. But so, how's it going? So we ended up going from Panama City to Chicago. We went to Chicago for 3 days only to see some friends. Chicago was great. Chicago's a big metropolis of a city. I've never been to a city that large. I've never been to see skyscrapers that big. I felt like an idiot, actually, because I kept looking up at all the skyscrapers, and it was winter still. You know, we're talking March, early March, mid-March. It was fucking cold. So I'd go running or whatever, and I have a bunch of pictures from Chicago that I'm gonna put on my video. I'm gonna put on my channel or whatever if anyone's interested. In my blog, I've written about it. I like Chicago, but I didn't spend enough time in Chicago. The thing about Chicago was the Art Institute. We didn't visit all the museums, but the Art Institute is the one that we visited. I spent 5 hours there, and I only got through the first floor. I was so overwhelmed by the artwork and so overwhelmed by the experience of the art that I never thought I would be. I'm not a person who really loves museums. I do. We have a museum in Anchorage, and it's great, but it's boring. I got to see expressionist paintings. I got to see the French masters, the Dutch masters. I got to see the Spanish. And it was an amazing experience, and I could have spent my entire time in Chicago at the museums. I just could have, but I didn't, and that was a regret I have. I also saw the stadium where the Bears play. Again, we're gonna take a panoramic view of everything. I saw the Soldier Field, which I could have, you know, it was cool. It was a good scenery. I saw where Barack and Michelle Obama had their first kiss on their first date, which was, yeah. Anyway, I'm a little too cynical to buy into that, but anyway. But again, we're on Pismo Beach. So from Chicago, Jason from Chicago, Eddie from Chicago, my friend Eddie, shout out to my friend Eddie, shout out to my friend David, went there from Chicago to California. And this is where the trip gets a little bit crazy for me, and this is where everything kind of turned. I don't want to say for the worst, but it certainly didn't turn for the best. California to me, we flew into Los Angeles, LAX, and I had expectations of starting a stand-up career. That was my goal. I had left Alaska. I had, the only thing I was really passionate about since I was 14 years old was stand-up comedy and football. And at 41, I thought a football career was probably 40. But I'm joking, of course. But I thought I was going to be a stand-up. And I had jokes written. I have a tight 5, as it's called. I have tons of stuff. It was funny. I've done the act. I did an open mic thing in LA that was, nobody was in the audience, but I still got up there, and it was funny enough. And I had some people smiled and thought and said, yeah, you know, blah blah blah. And my sister then leaves to go back to Anchorage for a week, 8 days, and I ended up being in Long Beach by myself. We stayed at an Airbnb, and it was perfectly, the Airbnb was great, but I had some epiphanies when I was there, and they weren't good ones. First of all, the greater Los Angeles area is a congested nightmare of freeways, broken down freeways, broken down homes, poor people, poverty, and it's an incredibly expensive place to live. Like, to such a degree that I couldn't justify even trying to make it work there, because how do I work a job 40 hours a week, travel another 2 hours a day, which comes to what, 10 hours a week at the minimum? So you're looking at 50, 60 hours a week working and traveling for a job that's not going to pay that well, and do open mic at night at 40 years old. I couldn't do it. I couldn't see doing it, and I couldn't see affording to even live in Los Angeles. So I decided that I was going to leave LA, and I decided that when my sister was gone, that I said, we can't afford to live here, and if I want to do stand-up, I can do it anywhere. I can do it in the desert. You know, there's tons of places to do it all over the country. There's plenty of clubs. Plus, YouTube has given me an opportunity, as well as the internet, period. If I want to do comedy, then I do comedy. If you've ever checked out my podcasts, you may not find them funny, but there's some funny stuff in them, and I can always do those things if I want. And that's kind of where I'm at with that now. LA is not a place I will ever go back to if I don't have to. I talked about it in my last video when I was walking through Pismo Beach. I'm not going to go through much more of this, or excuse me, not Pismo Beach, but San Luis Obispo, that I will just not go back. When I got watching people playing, I love wiffle ball. It's so much fun. So much fun. But a guy taking it way too seriously, like I would, so that's cool. He's probably a professional baseball player. Who knows? I don't know. It's the season, so I doubt he's out here on his day off swinging, hitting wiffle balls. But my whole thing about California is, my whole thing about Los Angeles was in Southern California, it was just too ugly. There was no magic there anymore, no glamour. When I went to Hollywood, I have a post office box in Hollywood, and I was at Hollywood, and it was just an ugly, dead place. When I was there, when I was 11 years old, I had this image in my head from when I was 10. I was fucking 9 going on 10. And I know you're a kid, but it was glamorous, man. We ran into like older ladies with dogs when I was 9 years old in these hotels that were down there, these places to live, you know, not hotels, but like apartments and stuff. And they were glamorous. They looked like old movie stars, you know, and it was just a different place. Things were cleaner. It seemed funner. It seemed like it was more energy. And when I went back, it was none of that. It was disappointing in that sense, because what happened was I ended up, a lot of families here, by the way. It's Easter Sunday again, and you can park on the beach here, which is cool. Can't do this in SoCal. But when I went back, when I started walking around, started looking at it again, it was just ugly. And there was nothing to it that I wanted to be part of. I didn't want to see people. I didn't really want to talk to anybody. And it wasn't that they were rude or anything. Well, they were rude, yeah. No, I'm not gonna lie to you. Have you ever been to Southern California? Southern California is full of a bunch of rude assholes who are not rude because, like, if you make eye contact with them, if you can get them to make eye contact with you, then they'll smile. And you can smile at them and they'll smile back. They're not mean, but they don't have any desire to have a conversation with you. Like, because everyone's working and there's so many people and they're just on their grind. Now you go into a bar, of course. I'm gonna get back on my bike. You go to a bar, of course, and that's really the opposite of what it is, right? You can sit and talk to people all night, play pool, whatever you want to do, and that's great. But that's not what I wanted to do. That's not why I came to California, was to hang out in bars until 4 o'clock in the fucking morning, or 2 o'clock in the morning, because everything closed at 2. I think, yeah, Florida's 4. I don't remember, but I didn't come there to hang out in a bar. What I came to LA to do was do stand-up and to kind of work. And I realized that unless I want to rent a studio apartment for $1,600 a month or $1,500 a month, and if you can find one, because there's a massive housing shortage in LA, then I was going to end up having to reconfigure my whole idea. I'm gonna get a little closer to the water. Reconfigure everything, right? And I had to. So what I ended up doing was I kind of just staying in Long Beach. By the way, if you ever hate yourself and you really want to like torture yourself, you hate yourself and you want to do something about it, finally go to fucking Long Beach, because fucking Long Beach is the worst fucking place that's ever existed on the planet. No offense to anybody that is in Long Beach or has been to Long Beach or likes Long Beach, but it sucks dick. It's full of, again, I know I'm going to shock everybody, overpriced houses, they're doing this renovation thing, so everybody is taking their houses now that should be worth 200 grand tops, and they're paying 400 grand for them, 500,000, etc. And people are thrilled to get back into mortgages. The mortgage industry is becoming, again, very popular in California. It's starting to have a resurgence. And I'm gonna get off my bike again because I don't want this thing to record weird. So having to see all of that shit and having to put up with fucking a place that I don't even want to live and it'd be too expensive to live, fuck that place. So no offense again to anybody in Long Beach, but Long Beach is a terrible place. The beaches look like, see the beaches here, they're dirty, they're kind of gross, but they're not like Long Beach. Long Beach looks like a giant cat box, full of piss, full of shit, full of spit, full of food, full of sweat, full of every god-awful fucking thing that you could have on a beach, and it looks like it. And then the people there are genuinely the same as they are everywhere in Southern California. Everybody is into this relentless self-improvement thing, running, yoga. In the middle of Long Beach, there's actually workout equipment all in this park. And then literally a stone's throw from that, there's workout equipment on the beach. And you're like, get the fuck out, you know, what the fuck is going on with this place? Again, I want to do a pan around again, just to kind of get an idea where we're at. I'm not sure if I like the cars or hate the cars. I think I hate the cars, but I don't know. First time, so we'll get used to it. California coastlines are amazing. They're just amazing. There's so much of it. And these waves are amazing, and the rocks are amazing, and the sky, it's a beautiful day. We go up in the sky. Sun's a little shitty. Not really out, but hey, can't have everything. Also, there is this allure of California that is very real, and the people that live here, that are from here, that have, you know, inherited houses or have their parents grew up here, and so they have a life built here, went to the school systems, you know, they're just used to it. Like I was in Alaska, they love it, and they can't beat the weather, and you can't beat the location, and you can't, you know, blah blah, but the prices are just like they are in Anchorage. I'm not joking. The prices in California where I've been are just the same as they are in Alaska, identical in some ways. Gallons of milk are the same price. A gallon of gas is $2.85 a gallon on average. What else? I mean, everything. Food is not any cheaper. You would think they grow fucking almonds all the fuck over this place, pistachios, and I love almonds. I love nuts. And if you love nuts, by the way, California is the place for you, but I don't want to get into it. Long Beach, also a very vibrant homosexual community, which I loved. I love diversity. They have a Harvey Milk park, and a kind of a statue to him and a remembrance, and I thought, not a statue, but like a mural and stuff. I love that. And then on the other side of Long Beach, there's a large Spanish Mexican communities, which kind of, you know, celebrate that. And that was the cool part of Long Beach, was the very diverse nature of it, very rainbow friendly. And again, I'm not gay, but I enjoy diversity, and I enjoy different people's opinions, and whatever you do is your business. And I like it when people are open. And California has a lot of that. There's some conservative parts of California, and some places I wouldn't go back to, Watsonville being one of them. I don't mean they're conservative, I just mean Watsonville is this. We stayed in a Motel 6. So let me just be clear. You should never talk about anything if you stayed in a Motel 6, because it will make you hate life and hate everyone in general. Because Motel 6s are, I'm just gonna leave it at that. Motel 6s are the worst place on the planet, really. Like, we were staying next to this room, and they open up the door. It's like, we get there at like midnight, and we open up the door in Watsonville, and it's next to an Applebee's, so right off the bat there's a problem. And and we end up going to Watsonville, and we get going a little bit, and there's the tide right there kind of coming in, as you can see, by the fellow bicycler riding by, hello, on a trek. so we're looking, and but Watsonville's a shithole. It's an industrial shithole. And it's doing those, I was talking about this earlier in my last video about how old Victorian houses, you know, and they're the haunted houses that you see. That's why the haunted houses, like at Disneyland, etc., they're those old abandoned Victorian houses after World War or after the Great Depression, and they're still there. And so they've rebuilt these areas, and they should be destroyed and something better, something cheaper built, something better built. They're terrible to heat. They don't modernize them very well. They're not easily modernized. They cost a lot of money, etc. I don't want to get into that because it's a beautiful day and we're talking about other stuff. We're talking about me and my trip, and we're just enjoying the scenery and talking between two friends. What's funny to me is Watsonville is, so we stayed at this Motel 6 and we open up the door next to it, and there's the smoke just billows out of the room, and it's cigarette smoke, but it's way too much cigarette smoke. And when way too much cigarette smoke is coming out of a place, you know one thing is going on. They're smoking crack or they're smoking crystal meth. They weren't smoking pot because I didn't smell any weed. I smelled cigarette smoke. And the guys that come out literally looked at my sister, because that's who I'm traveling with, and we have a blog together called The Great American Travel Blog. I'll leave a link below. It's kind of an edgier travel blog. No shit, right? But this guy looked at her, and I didn't see him look at her, and I wouldn't have said anything anyway, to be honest, because I probably would have gotten my ass handed to me. There was 4 of them, and then there was a woman in there laying on a bed, and they opened the door and the smoke billows out, and it looked like a crack den or a meth den with dudes sitting there, you know, smoking, and she looked like a prostitute. And I could be completely wrong about that, and I hope I am, but it was mortifying, really. It was like, oh God. It was a Motel 6, so what do you expect? So we went to the Applebee's, and the Applebee's service sucked. It was 11 o'clock at night. I've seen, like I said, I've seen some, I don't want to get into this because it's so dumb, but it's nonetheless true. And if you're offended by it, please don't be. I'm trying not to offend anybody anymore. I just want to build friendships and relationships, and I want to build on positive. But I feel a lot of racism towards me as a white male who's 6'3", 230 pounds. I'm in decent shape. You know, I'm a little loose in the cage. I need to lose 10 pounds, but maybe not even 10 pounds anymore. No offense, I'm doing pretty good, I think. Oh, look at that, we got a plane. Dusting crops where there ain't no crops. But anyway, but I'm in good shape and I'm decent. I mean, whatever, but I'm a white guy in a lot of these places that are not predominantly white. And I get a lot of, the Applebee's was one. This waitress was Spanish, Mexican, and it's not from every one of them. The bartender was super nice. The other waitresses were nice, all Mexican, all of Spanish heritage. And she just walked by our table like 4 times. And finally I had to get up and get drinks from the bar and bring them back to the table at 11 o'clock at night. They closed at like midnight, and at 11 o'clock at night, there's nobody in there. It's like us and these 4 kids at the next booth playing a drinking game. And it pissed me off. And I get a lot of that shit here. Sometimes I'll walk into a place and I'll get rude behavior, and it has nothing to do with the day they're having. It has everything to do with the fact that I'm white. And I don't mind it because I kind of deserve it, I guess. We deserve it. The white people have done a lot of shit to California. We're not indigenous to this. We should all be back in, you know, if you play by that stupid game, and we all and I don't, but if we should all be, and I'm not giving white guilt here, and I'm not giving liberal guilt here, and I'm not doing that shit, but it's true. We're not indigenous to this place, and we don't really belong in a lot of ways. So pretending you do, America, there's an American flag. Why do people carry flags on their truck? Are you forgetting what country you're in? Is it to remind you that you live in America? You're proud? What are you proud of? It'd be one thing to show a flag in another country because you're in another country and you're saying, hey, look where I'm from, blah, blah, blah. I can understand that. But in your own country, again, we're going to pan to the ocean, beautiful, beautiful ocean. So I get a lot of racism. And not a lot, but I get it a little bit. I'll tell you, I went to a club in Van Nuys and it was the wrong part of Van Nuys. Let's just leave it at that. And I went into a club and I'm hanging out and I'm talking and I'm playing pool with this guy, and he's half Spanish, half Mexican, half white, and we're talking and I'm talking to these girls or these white girls or whatever, and we're having a nice conversation. And they leave and they're like, do you want to go smoke some weed or whatever? Do you want to go? And I was like, no thanks, I don't really do drugs, because I used to take every breath out of a lit bong for 20 years, so I don't do drugs anymore. I mean, I just don't. It's a waste of time. It makes me extremely lazy, and I don't want to be lazy anymore. I wasted too much time with that shit. So I'm just being honest. You do whatever you want. God bless. I don't care either way. I think marijuana should be legal. I think it's silly. If alcohol's legal, marijuana should be legal. But I don't smoke anymore, and I don't do drugs anymore. I drink, but I don't drink every day, and I certainly don't drink to excess. I'll have a couple of beers here and there just to, you know, maybe build my appetite or have a good, you know, put myself in a good mood or whatever. So look at these little birds. Look at these little birdies. How cute, huh? So anyway, we're in the bar, and these Latino girls are there, and they were having none of me. They're literally like purposely talking to this guy and not talking to me. And I go, man, these girls must not be attracted to me or whatever. And they're like, no, that's not it, man. You're white. They're not, number one, they don't think you're interested in them, and they are definitely not interested in you. And I'm like, are you shitting me? Like, how, what? Like, I love all women. Like, I love black, I love every kind of ethnic group. I've dated every single type of ethnic group. You name an ethnic group, and I have dated them. And I always pride myself on being, I'm a liberal, and I pride myself on being kind of, you know, into girls. White girls bore me a lot of the times because I dated them since I was a kid. So, you know, I love seeing new culture. So anyway, so that was a culture shock a little bit too. And it doesn't happen all the time, but it did happen there, and it was kind of a weird thing. And again, it never happens to you, but again, you know, when it happens to minority groups, I now kind of, I can't relate on any level. Like, I can't relate, but I got a picture of it. I got a little bit of a vision. You know, I looked through the keyhole a little bit and I saw it. Again, the ocean's just beautiful. A little overcast today. Hopefully the clouds burn off. So LA was kind of a culture shock to me, and the whole entire, the San Fernando Valley was kind of similar, and Long Beach was kind of similar. I didn't really feel comfortable in Long Beach. I just wanted to get out of Long Beach, to be honest with you. And I knew at that point I wasn't going to be settling in California. So I don't know if you've ever had this feeling where if you move someplace and you know, I have some options, so I'm lucky in that way. And I didn't have to settle there. It wasn't like I had no money and I couldn't do anything else. And so I knew I wasn't going to settle there, and I just couldn't get into it. Could not get into it. And, you know, I don't have kids. I don't have a wife. I'm traveling with my sister. And my sister was gone, and I went through this whole kind of emotional thing where I knew that this wasn't going to be where I settled. And I had to come to grips with that, and I had to do it in a very quick amount of time, like in a week. And it was hard. And hard is not the word, because when you say hard, it's like, what is hard? You know, what the fuck are you talking about? Hard is having to pay your bills every day. Hard is having to raise kids. Hard is having to live in a stagnant economy. Hard, you know, that's hard. What I had to go through was just some bullshit, you know, some ennui, some boredom, some self-loathing, some of that shit. So, and I'd always smoked pot in the past to kind of relieve that tension, and I don't do it anymore. So I had to really get inside myself and really use all my psychological tools and psychiatric. My sister has a degree in psychiatry, and so she's not a practicing psychiatrist, or psychologist, excuse me, not a psychiatrist, a psychologist. She didn't go to med school, but she's not but she has a degree, and she has to keep going. Cute dog, look at the cute dog. Anyway, so I had to go through that, and I had to use all the tools that I had learned from her and other people, and she helped me in a great deal in that. So she came back to California, and I just said, we're gone, we're not living here. And she was a little bit, my sister loves Southern California. She really genuinely does. And I said, well, look, we can live there if you want. It's expensive. We can get a place, see how we want it for 6 months. And she kindly just said, you know what, you're right. She wants to write more. I want to write more. I want to create more, as well as work, but I want to have time to be able to do that shit. And Southern California was not going to be that place. So we started traveling to Northern California, and Monterey is a fantastic place. Monterey is fun. Monterey is a lot of cool people in Monterey. It's a vacation place. Pacific Grove, the Butterfly, the Monarch. Anybody watches the show Venture Brothers? The Mighty Monarch. And that has nothing to do with it, but I'm just saying it, you know, blah, blah. So there's a character on there named Monarch. So it was cool to see it, man. It was awesome. And cool to see all that stuff. Cool to see kind of Monterey, the Cannery Row. I'm going to put videos up of Cannery Row, of the Steinbeck Center, of the aquarium on my channel. I may actually go back down there. We're about 2 hours away, 2.5 hours away from Salinas, which is where the Steinbeck Center is, and then that's only about 30 minutes away from Monterey, where Cannery Row is. And of course, if you've ever read any Steinbeck, you know, Cannery Row, the famous book, the whole goddamn thing is built on his book. I mean, they have a monument there. There's actually a Cannery Row monument, which is rad. And I looked at the film today, and I didn't do a great job filming it because it was my second day with the GoPro, and I hadn't quite figured out all of the kinks in it. So I may have to go refilm it, but that'll only take, you know, 3 or 4 hours. I've enjoyed Northern California immensely, and San Luis Obispo, where I'm at right now, or where we're staying, and then we're leaving tomorrow. Again, this is being recorded on Easter Sunday of 2017. I've enjoyed it. Northern California, but I wouldn't live in California. Matter of fact, I wouldn't live anywhere near California. I wouldn't live in Oregon. No offense to Asian Umpqua. I wouldn't live anywhere near Washington State. I wouldn't live in Nevada. I wouldn't live, maybe live in New Mexico, maybe Arizona, but probably not. This is a wonderful place to be. California is a cool ass place to be, and there's a lot to do in California. If you're an outdoors person especially, man, it's just, there's a shitload to do here. And it really has elements of elegance and savagery. There's this beauty to it that can't be described. I mean, look at the ocean. Just take a look at it. I mean, seriously, just take a hardcore look at this ocean. And it's a shame what, like I said earlier about Silicon Valley, if God exists, Silicon Valley wouldn't, because no God would let Silicon Valley do this to such a beautiful place. And it doesn't have, you know, Silicon Valley doesn't have, here's my thoughts about Silicon Valley. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's necessary, but it creates nothing necessary. It creates software, but if a computers didn't exist tomorrow, the world would still exist. We'd still have shipping and trucking. We'd still have food growing. We'd still have television. We'd still have, I mean, you know, we'd still have all of the wonderful things that we have now. Only Silicon Valley, the ability to do things, to communicate maybe, and look at that with the rebel flag. What an ignorant shithole. What a fucking moron in California to have a goddamn rebel flag around people that are of Mexican descent. Can you fucking believe that shit? Racist cocksuckers. Anyway, a lot of Trump supporters here too, by the way. A lot of ignorant shit Trump supporters. So anyway, California has a beauty to it that is unmatched. And Silicon Valley, how's it going? Silicon Valley has a beauty to it that is really fucking rad. And I mean, it's a beautiful area, but it's unlivable. And if you try to get an apartment in San Francisco, it's just undoable. And we haven't been to San Francisco, and we're probably not going to San Fran, because San Fran to me, there's really no fucking point to going to San Francisco at this point. I've seen all I want to see of Northern California, and I've been to San Francisco when I was a kid, so I saw a lot of it, man. I saw a lot of San Francisco. I saw a lot of coolness. I saw a lot of San Francisco when I was a kid. Spent probably 5 or 6 days there when I was a kid, and I wasn't even that impressed with it when I was a kid, and I think I'd be even less impressed with it now. And again, very liberal, blah blah blah, but expensive. And I kind of have gotten to this mode where everything's about money. My sister is not in that mode. She's in the opposite, and she's right. When I walk through a town, she sees all the beauty of it. She sees all the greatness of it. She sees all the wonder of it. She sees, oh, she loves Victorian housing. And I hate that shit. I hate the fact that everything costs way more than you can afford. And I'm starting to think about trying to be part of that. You know, here comes, see the ocean coming in, people parking their cars. That's a cool shot. That's like a commercial for Honda. Salt water in your car. They're gonna regret that tomorrow, by the way. That salt water is gonna fuck that shit up. They better hope that shit doesn't seep into their fucking valves and shit, and bad. I've had that happen, I've seen it happen. I've seen people that have let salt water into their cars and it destroys them. But these are probably rentals, so fuck them. I mean, who doesn't torture a rental? Who doesn't do neutral drops until the fucking transmission falls out in a rental? But anyway, so Silicon Valley is an ugly shithole of a community. A lot of people who have come from other countries who make money as computer programmers and data software or data entry fucks, and they don't provide the world any service. And I'm not blaming them, man. You got to make a living, your family, etc. But they've turned this country, they've turned that area, and I don't mean the immigration. The immigration's great. I mean Silicon fucking Valley. The Peter Thiels of the world, the venture capitalists who've turned houses that are worth 300 grand, 350 grand into $1 million. It's a stupid system. And it's all capitalism, blah, blah, blah. I love California. I really do. I love the weather. The people are great when you can get to the right areas. I don't love the people in SoCal. SoCal is too busy trying to get ahead. Everyone's too busy trying to pay bills. And by the way, let me just say this. You can give me all the artistry bullshit you want to about California and how, oh, it's filled with artists, and it's not. What it's filled with people is that come down here because the weather is fucking great. I'm gonna get back on my bike because we're starting to get to the end of the beach. Not end of the beach because there's no fucking end, it's California. But we're starting to get to the point where, you know, anyway, I'll just kind of film as I'm riding, talk as I'm riding. But California is filled with people who are trying to get rich. Just as a fact, that's not even an astute observation. It's just a fucking common sense notion. Everybody here thinks, I've said this about California and I'll say it again. If you two work hard in Southern California, it's like they're saying, if you work hard enough, you too can own a car. You know, how many, I couldn't believe it. And this will be my last rant on California because I'm leaving California tomorrow. I'm driving out. I think I'm going to Texas. I don't know. I'm not sure yet. But we're leaving California tomorrow, one way or another. And it's become, California to me is a dream. It's what I said about Las Vegas. Las Vegas feels like 30 minutes after a party. Little kids are great. Kids don't annoy me, adults do. Kids are fun to watch. Kids are fun to see frolic. They're the ones that should be having fun. It's the adults that act like idiots. But California is like 30 minutes after a party. You know, the solo cups are still around, the red solo cups are still around the room. The music is still playing. There's no DJ anymore. Whoever was running this CD is just you've turned on the FM radio station. There's balloons on the door that are half inflated. There's, Andy Dick is passed out drunk on your couch and you have no idea how he got there. That's what California feels like to me. And especially SoCal. SoCal is just a shithole. Just a shithole. And it's getting worse because there's the tax base. Biggest tax cheats in the world are in California. So they think the richest people don't pay taxes here. They have afforded, and I've said this in my last video and I won't go any more into it. I don't want to repeat myself ad nauseum. Also, more birds. I don't know what these are. Sandpipers? I don't know. Their mom telling them what's up. Come on, get some food. I'll tell you this too about Cali that I've noticed is that, see these beach houses? See all these fucking beach houses that ruin every fucking thing? That ruins California. Beach houses ruin everything. People that own these $1 million, $750,000 shitholes, not shitholes, and this should be all of ours, you know? This is that movie. I don't know if anyone ever saw Super Troopers, but when they're doing mushrooms in the car and he says, now if you own a house on the beach, do you own, I know you own the beach in some places, but do you own the water? And the kid goes, God, you can't own the water. God owns the water, or something like that. And that's how I feel. We all own this. This is all of ours. It's not okay that you got to build a house, even if it's far, the beaches are public and it's okay. You shouldn't be able to build on some of these places. Because inevitably everybody wants to live on the goddamn beach, you know? Everybody wants to live here. And if you're gonna build these houses, there should be some low income houses built as well. There should be some affordable housing for people to live in. Capitalism is a force that is man-made. It's not nature. It's not natural. It wasn't a natural progression. It was enforced by the richest of our society, and it was the extreme nature of a barter system that just went awry. And California's a victim, and I feel bad for California. I feel bad for the people of California. I feel bad for me. Christ's sake, I come here as a visitor who wanted to live here and can't. And how many people like me are there? I mean, I'm not saying I should be able to live in California. I'm not making that argument. I'm just saying people like me can't live here in California. They can't justify it. And I feel bad for the retirees. How about people who are 65 years old who are living on disability and can't live here, can't afford it? So it's disheartening on that level, on many levels actually. Also, I like this part of I like Pismo Beach because there isn't a sidewalk built on the goddamn right on the beach here. Like in Long Beach, there's sidewalks everywhere. In Redondo Beach, there's sidewalks everywhere. And Redondo Beach is the worst place I've ever been. Like seriously, if you're from Redondo or you've been, don't go to Redondo. Don't stay in Redondo. Don't just drive through it on the PCH and don't look back. Redondo Beach is a terrible, terrible place with terrible, terrible people. I'm trying to ride without hands, but it's not working very well. On the beach, it's almost deep. 3 fingers. Like a good glass of scotch. 3 fingers. Fuck off. I hate people that talk pretentious about alcohol. But anyway, just go drink your PBR and shut the fuck up. It's all the same. You're all doing it for the same reason, to get a little buzz. We're also in wine country, which I'll be honest with you, I'm not a wine fan at all. And I don't see the need for having acres and acres and acres and acres and acres and acres of good real estate devoted to growing wine, to growing grapes, Jesus, enough wine with the wine already. It all tastes like shit anyway. And by the way, the best wine I think we'd all agree is Boone's Farm. Maybe Arbor Mist. $5 a bottle, tastes like you're drinking candy. That's as far as I go with wine. I don't care about your Sauvignon Blanc. I don't care about your white wines, your red wines, your green. I don't give a shit. Fuck your wines. And if there's a green wine, don't drink it because it's probably rotten. But California, and this beach is just beautiful. I love the ocean. I really genuinely love the ocean. I don't like surf culture though. Surfers seem cool, but they're all assholes. If you've ever talked to a surfer, don't. And no offense to people who surf. I've tried to body surf once and it didn't go well. Maybe that's why but I grew up in the 80s. Remember those movies like North Shore and Point Break and I don't know, there was a few other surf movies. You know, it was part of the extreme athlete culture. You know, like, I'm not saying this was a surf movie, but the movie Rad or the movie BMX Bandits with Nicole Kidman, that terrible. Remember that was kind of the, you know, it was kind of the beginning of the X Games kind of a thing. So I'm not a big fan anymore. I don't too much worry about surfing or being a surfer or wanting to surf or having really a desire to surf. Really what it is the surfing culture, surfers are douchebags. And they have one thing in mind, and that's surfing and doing crystal methamphetamines. That's about it. And don't believe me, type in surfers and crystal meth. Went to Venice. Venice Beach is full of nothing but fucking drug addicts surfing and asking you for money to buy more crystal methamphetamines. And so, you know, being on a beach and having to get out of the way of cars is kind of annoying. I'll be honest with you. Get enough of that shit on the cement. And God forbid I get in a fight here because I probably get beaten up by a gang of surfers, the ex-presidents. I wish there was some Patrick Swayze. It's a Swayze. You watch a Swayze, you get something from it, you know? Bodie was a cool character. There's no Bodies here. There's a bunch of fucking assholes here. So I like it. I like the culture. I love California. I like the way it looks, but it's too expensive to live, and I don't want to live in Vacaville. So I don't want to live in Watsonville. I don't want to live in Shitholeville. Not interested. I don't know what the fuck is going on here. Oh, airing up tires. Okay. That makes total sense. That makes total sense that you could actually have $1. By the way, go to a gas station and get air in your car. It's $1.25, $1.50 for air. This guy's charging $1 for air. I mean, I know it's an air compressor. I get it. I totes get it, but it's an air compressor. Like, how much does your air compressor possibly cost you? How much does it possibly cost you to run that generator? So, especially when you're at a Chevron, you know? But anyway, and people that do that shit, like this is not a highway, this is a fucking beach. Like, can you believe these assholes? Can you fucking believe these? I thought people in Alaska drove like assholes. Nope, wrong. These people here drive like assholes. California drivers are the worst motherfuckers in the world. Seriously, ever been on a CA freeway? Get on the PCH. Get on the 405 or the 101 or the 1 or the 5. Bunch of terrible fucking people driving terribly fast to go someplace they don't want to be. Oh, and also, note to anybody in Long Beach, apparently living in Long Beach, it's mandatory that you either know where to get weed, have weed, or smoking weed all the time. Every place I went in Long Beach there was just a constant smell of marijuana. Constant smell of marijuana. And you don't get it in other places much. Long Beach was like concentration marijuana. It was hilarious. Just be quiet a little while and let the beach. And by the way, feel free to mute this. Just enjoy the goddamn scenery, folks. Oh, we're coming up on an ATV rental. Yes. Let's tear through nature's beauty on a motherfucking crotch rocket, 4-wheel crotch rocket that pollutes the environment worse than any car could. Yes. What a great day. Let me get on an ATV and haul ass on the beach. I'm getting too cynical and too old to enjoy novelty in a lot of ways. And that's what you get when you're in California. It's constant fucking novelty. As Terrence McKenna said. And people crossing over like it's I see this in Anchorage all the time, or Alaska all the time. And what's funny to me is This isn't fucking Anchorage. Like, I remember being a kid and having to cross this shit. And you had really no choice because, you know, you're in a river or whatever, and you have to cross it. You want to get to a campsite, you have to cross it. Here, it's not so much. You don't have to do this. And they're just ruining this beach. I would not let cars on this beach. I don't know, but there's no parking anywhere around here, so. Let's see, let's pan over to the beach a little more. We can keep going on the beach. It's been an hour. Yeah, I know, I can't believe it either. It's been an hour. So let's start heading back, maybe this way up here. Try to get past this without getting too fucking soaking wet. I hope these guys get fucking, I hope there's a tsunami and it kills everybody here, except for the people. It washes all these cars out to the sea. But then that would fuck the sea up too, so.